So the current situation is unloading the Target bags in the car from the Target bags into a bigger grocery bag because this is crazy and it's coming down really hard. So I'm just going to organize the Target stuff and just wait it out for a few minutes and then just run inside and hope I don't get completely soaked. Hi, hello, welcome or welcome back to the channel. My name is Cynthia. If you're new here, we made it through the crazy rain. I waited it out for probably like 5-ish minutes, and then it lightened up enough that I just like grabbed the bag and ran inside. So I'm just going to unpack everything. I didn't really get much. The Target order was more so just like the few odds and ends that we didn't get at H Mart yesterday. So I have this thing where I only want to grocery shop at one store, but between affordability, different types of food, and food needs for the week for Diego and I, doesn't always work out that way. Usually what I end up doing is splitting the groceries between ShopRite and Target, but sometimes I like to go to Trader Joe's, and Trader Joe's doesn't have a deli. So it's little things like that that sometimes trip me up. So we went to H Mart yesterday and got a ton of stuff. But there were still a few things we needed, primarily like bread, tortillas. Diego wanted hot dogs, so I got buns and hot dogs. And I'm also someone, and I've said this before in other videos, I do not like going into stores if I don't have to. And so I'm a big fan of drive up and order pickup and things like that. Like I'll go to the store, I just don't want to go in. And luckily, and I try my best to not do drive up when it's raining because I feel bad. I got to Target on like a lull. So it was like barely a drizzle, and the girl that brought my groceries out had a raincoat on, so I was like, all right. Because I was debating on the way there if I should just switch to order pickup and just go in and get it, and luckily it all worked out. So I'm just gonna unpack this stuff, and then we can move on to the next thing, which is laundry. Also, if you see behind me, a quick little update. They're a little messy because we went to H Mart yesterday, but we got new shelves. Those big old clunky shelves are gone. And funnily enough, in my productive but non-aesthetic video, I kind of talked about how I hated filming in here because it's so ugly. The lighting, bad. The pantry situation was bad. I just hated filming in here. The kitchen is always a mess because it's such a high traffic area. I love cooking. We do laundry in here. It's just such a high traffic area that it gets so messy sometimes. And it can't be helped. Sorry, Ziggy just jumped on the table. It had distracted me. But it's such a high traffic area in here that it is what it is. So, like I've probably said 8 times now, I'm going to get back to unpacking this because it's just a few things, and then we're going to jump into the laundry because I don't know if you can see that, but I have a lot of laundry to do. All right, so laundry is in. I'm going to quickly clean off this table, clean off the coffee table, and clean off my desk. I'm just prioritizing the more like high traffic areas today because I do clean throughout the week. So I don't want to tackle everything today and further stress myself out because I have a 9 to 5. I don't need stress from anywhere else in my life. So I'm done with this table, and I actually recently decided to get back into overnight oats because they're very good for you And I honestly don't know why I stopped eating them. I think I just got tired of oatmeal and I went into like an egg phase, I guess. But I got these jars from Target. Mason jars are actually incredibly affordable. For some reason, I thought they'd be more expensive because they're glass, but I got these kind of like wide mouth mason jars. Yeah, so they're 16-ounce jars and they're wide mouth, which I really like because it's just a lot easier to like scoop oatmeal out of them and eat out of them if I don't feel like putting it in a bowl. But I've been trying to do overnight oats about 3 mornings. Three. My fingers were doing whatever they wanted, but about 3 mornings a week. So I got new jars because my last set of mason jars, most of the lids have gotten lost, which isn't helpful. So I was like, you know what? Let me just get a new set, and these are only for overnight oats. But I don't know where to store the jars yet. So for now, they're just going to stay where they are on the table because they're not in the way here. So I figure for now, this is fine. Like, why is there a sock? It's a sock. Why is there a sock on the table? Background looks familiar. It's because this is where I used to sit to film all of my book videos. Now the chair has moved over here. So now we have a little bit more of like a cozy kind of living room vibe, and then our like desk areas. The last space that I have to tackle is my desk. I do not like to clean the whole apartment in one go. It is very rare that I will say, you know what, this whole place is disgusting. I need to clean every last inch of it. I am more someone who likes to tackle different areas on different days. And like I mentioned earlier, my job is very stressful right now. Honestly, it has been since I got back from PTO at the end of May, but I don't need more stress from my home life. I already have enough from my work life. And so on my weekly resets, it's more important to me to tidy up the high traffic areas of the apartment. So that way, when I get up tomorrow and I'm packing my lunch and I'm making my breakfast and I'm getting dressed, there aren't things that are in my way. So the sink isn't full of dishes. My lunchbox is empty. The ice packs have been put away. You know, my shoes are right next to the ottoman so I can just put them on and go, you know. It's really just about making sure that when the work week starts again on Monday, that I am prepared, but also not having to deal with clutter from the weekend or the previous week. I also don't stress myself out if I don't get everything done, because to me, the point of a weekly reset is to kind of deal with any overflow from the previous week as well as prepare for the next week. It's not really about cleaning everything and making sure everything is done, because nothing is ever always going to be done. Nothing is ever going to be 100% perfect. So I think I've realized over time that it's more important to be prepared than it is to have everything perfect. Because I've tried. I've tried to do everything and I always fall short. And it is what it is. And some people also don't have the luxury of being able to get everything done perfectly in one day. So generally on Sundays, I like to do block stuff, but I don't know if you could tell, I don't know if you could hear it, but I feel like garbage. I'm not sick. I'm stressed. And when I get stressed, my body mimics like having a cold. I don't know if that happens to anyone else, but like my asthma is bothering me. I feel congested. I have a headache. I am so exhausted that I just kind of want to take it easy today. So normally on Sundays, I would do blog stuff for the week, but we're going to do blog stuff on Monday. Prepare for that. I'm going to clean off my desk so that Monday night when I get home from work, this space is clean. And I actually want to sit here because if it's a mess, I'm not going to want to sit here. So I'm going to clean this up. And then really the rest of the day is just laundry. Do have to water the plants. And I do want to make my overnight oats for, I guess I'll make 2 to start. And then if I want to have overnight oats again later in the week, I'll make them maybe like Wednesday or Thursday the night before. That's kind of what's left. And then the rest of the afternoon, as I'm finishing the laundry, I really just want to relax. So I'm gonna get into this and then we'll catch up again in a minute on what is left on my list. If anyone has any good recommendations for cable management, because this is gonna drive me nuts. Why do they have 3 coasters? What do I need 3 coasters for? The only thing I am going to leave out is this HDMI cable because I've been wanting to plug the Nintendo Switch dock. I forgot the word, but I want to plug the Nintendo Switch dock into my computer monitor since the other HDMI port is free, since the other HDMI port is available. So I'm gonna leave this out as a reminder because I thought it would be nice to have little cozy gaming nights at my desk. I don't know. So next up on the list, to water all my plants. I have a lot of plants. If you don't know, that's okay. I don't talk about my plants too often, but I recently got this giant watering can. Like, I think it's bigger than my head. It's huge. I think I don't know how many gallons it is. I was gonna try to explain to you how many gallons it is to try to put it into perspective, but I don't know. It's just huge because my other watering can was just not cutting it. I've had her for a long time and I love her, but I would have to take like 4 trips back to the sink to refill her to water all the plants and I hated it. We got a big heifer. So I guess size comparison, I don't know. I'm gonna go water the plants. Two original pothos I recently propagated, and as you can see, I now just have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 jars of propagations. Some of them are doing pretty well. Some of them are yellowing, which is okay. That's to be expected. But hopefully they all grow in nicely, and then everyone I know is getting a pothos for Christmas. So these plants, these are too big for the plant shelf plants. But I have a couple ZZs, I have a mini ficus over here, which is actually growing a new leaf. I am shook. I have a few small plants in here, but mostly this started as plants that were just too big to fit on the shelf in the living room. So for weekly planning, I'm literally just going to use my handy dandy iPad. I have blocked off my desk with the drying rack, so it is what it is, but I really just want to keep planning light. I think what happened was things were just getting a little too nitty-gritty, a little too down to like the minute, if you know what I mean. So as you can see right now, I'm going to put my iPad up on the screen. I don't have too much on my calendar. I put Diego's schedule on the calendar because his schedule changes on a weekly basis. Right now, he's working at ShopRite while he's looking for a full-time job. And so his schedule is just not consistent week to week. So I put his schedule on the calendar. And then there are a few chores related to the pets on the calendar, but for the most part, it's kind of a barren wasteland. And if we go back up to May, actually no, let's go a little further. Let's go to March. So March, you could see, not only did I have my schedule, Diego's schedule, I also would theme my days. I'd put other chores on here. I would also put my content on my calendar. So each Tuesday, I have a blog post. Any extra blog posts I publish on Thursday, Saturday. March was actually a fantastic month for the blog. I was working. And you can also see on Fridays are my YouTube upload days. If I don't upload on Friday, I will upload on Saturday, but I try to do my best to stick to the Friday upload day just so that A, it kind of gives me like a deadline, and B, I don't fall super behind. But as you can see in March, there was a lot going on my calendar. And to a lot of people, this might be overwhelming, but to me, I actually really love the organization and the functionality of a calendar that looks like this. I think going forward, I'm going to leave my 9 to 5 schedule off of my calendar. And the reason for that is because I do have a list in my reminders specifically for work tasks. So I don't really need to put my 9 to 5 tasks on my calendar. So let's go back to now. We are in August, which is crazy. So we're going to switch it to week. Okay. So let's start with Monday. Let's do... Also, sorry, that was kind of abrupt, but instead of me filling it in with you, I'm just going to quickly fill it in and then show it to you once it's done. I think that'll just be a lot faster. So I will be right back. Okay, we're back. And as you can see, I've pulled up my calendar. I've left it in weekly view so we can kind of see what I've got going on for next week. And this is all primarily between 5 p.m. Well, no, like 5:30 once I'm home from work until about 10:45, which is lights out. And as you can see, I've scheduled in my workouts for the day. I find that as long as I'm managing everything in bite-sized chunks, I'm not getting overwhelmed. And I also have to acknowledge that during the week, I'm not feeling the same every day. And how I feel on Tuesday isn't how I'm going to feel on Friday. And I know for a fact that Friday, I'm not going to do a workout. I'm not going to do content work. I just want to chill. So Fridays are undoubtedly potato days because I've tried to get myself to do things and I just don't. I fight myself really, really hard. So I've given in. I've given in to myself. It is what it is. It does feel good to have an idea of what's going to happen throughout this week. That's kind of it. Because like I said earlier, not everything has to get done. I would love to do everything, but sometimes you just can't, and that's fine. Something you should know about me. I am very sensitive to animal deaths. I, like most people, have lost pets, childhood pets over the years. And I've noticed that I can listen to a ton of true crime. Like what adults do to each other is none of my business. But what I really struggle with is when it's the death of an animal or a young child or someone just like extremely innocent, like someone disabled. And so I try not to watch shows or movies where an animal dies, especially a pet. So a little bit of a spoiler ahead, as well as a little bit of a backstory. So I started listening to the A Good Girl's Guide to Murder as an audiobook a while ago. I want to say like maybe 2 years ago, and I DNF'd it. I couldn't really get into the story. I didn't really like Pip, and I just wasn't feeling it, so I DNF'd it. Then I saw that they were making a show. So I thought, okay, let me check it out. Well, I'm halfway through the 5th episode. The pet dog is dead. And I wish there had been some sort of warning, or maybe there was and I missed it. I probably won't continue with this series. I think the show is also going to be a DNF because that was mildly upsetting. That felt very unnecessary. I'm just going to Google what happens so I don't have to watch it. But yeah, just for anyone else who was also sensitive to the death of pets in shows and movies, halfway through episode 5 of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder on Netflix, the family pet is found dead. And yeah, so a little bit of a content warning. Didn't think I would be talking about this in this video, but here we are. But just letting you know so that you can do what you have to do to protect yourself. I usually prefer to make my overnight oats about just a couple days ahead of time, but I like to keep it really simple. I do about a cup of oats, so just shy of a cup. I'm gonna add a little. I'm gonna add a little bit more. That's a little better. Try not to drop them all outside of the jar. Jeez, Cynthia. And then I'm also going to add chia seeds. I don't measure these. I just kind of open the bag and just pour them in. It's not too much, just enough. I just eyeball the chia seeds. And then I like the Chobani oat milk. I also like the Oatly oat milk. Target brand oat milk is okay. Trader Joe's brand oat milk is okay, but I find that Chobani and Oatly are by far my favorite, and I think that's just because they're both the sweetest. So I'm going to fill it up to just shy of a cup. Same thing, just shy of a cup. And then just like the chia seeds with the honey, I use Nate's Organic. And then honey, I just kind of eyeball how much I want. I think that's good. And then I just top it with frozen blueberries. I love frozen blueberries. I don't know what it is, and this might just be me, but like frozen blueberries are never sour. But when I get fresh blueberries, there's always a solid chunk of them that are just straight up sour, and I can't do it. I also, in the fall, like to make overnight oats with cinnamon and tiny chunks of apple, preferably Honeycrisp. But to be honest, I don't really get too adventurous with the overnight oats. I don't like to overcomplicate it. If I find something that I like and something that works, then I just do that. 2 overnight oats ready to go. All right. And that's a wrap. I'm very glad I didn't forget to do the overnight oats, because generally when I prepare food for the next day, I do it at like 9 o'clock at night. I was a little nervous I was gonna forget, but I did not, so we're good. Today was definitely a reset on the lighter side of things. Like I said earlier, I'm not feeling my best today, and I really just didn't want to push myself to be super productive and get it all done and then just feel just wrecked tomorrow. So I didn't get everything I wanted to do done today, but that's okay. There will be plenty of more days to come. And I would like to continue reading my book because I think I'm a little over halfway through. And it's a pretty long book, but right now I am reading The Crown of Oaths. Why can I not say this word? The Crown of Oaths and Curses by J. Bree. And can we just talk about this cover? Can we just talk about this cover? Like, are you kidding me? This cover is gorgeous. And I really like this book so far because the enemies are actually being enemies. Like, they genuinely hate each other, and it's very refreshing because every fantasy romance book now is marketed as enemies to lovers, when in fact they are not enemies to lovers. So anyway, I'm gonna leave it here. If you liked this video, please let me know in the comments, because I am very interested in making more content like this, as well as maybe life admin days, kind of stuff like that. But I know a lot of other creators also make content like this, and so the imposter syndrome, it hits so hard. You just gotta hit back harder. But anyway, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye.